Hi all. Today we are going to learn about ingress protection. This was a much awaited video. Ingress protection, the IP code or ingress protection code indicates how well a device is protected against water and dust. It is defined by the International Electrotechnical Commission IEC under the International Standard IEC 60529-1, which classifies the and provides a guideline to the degree of protection provided by mechanical casing and electrical enclosures against intrusion, dust, accidental contact, and water. What it is trying to say is that whenever there is a uh, switchgear component like MCB, MCCB, ACB, it is supposed to be protected from water and solid particles, or also from the touch of uh, general persons to protect them from getting shock. Now, this protection is defined in the IP code. So, let us understand what is the meaning of each letter in the IP code. You might have seen IP 55, 54, 67 like this. So, the first letter IP, ingress protection, it is defining that it is a ingress protection code IP. Uh, the first two things, and then the first letter comes. The first letter it defines the solid particle. Okay, let me highlight it, this one. This defines a solid particle protection. Solid particle protection, and it comes from 0 to 6. These six letters are there. Or it can be X also. The meaning of X means the protection is up to 6. It can be anything between 0 to 6. This is a required field, mandatory, has to be there. The second letter is the ingress protection for liquid. Liquid, for our case, it is particularly water. So this protection code is 0 to 9, but practically we use up to 0 to 7. In most cases it is 0 to 7 only that has been that are used in the industry. It is also a required and mandatory field to be filled to make it a IP code. There is a third letter, which is a mechanical impact resistance. Means if I using a hammer to make an impact on it, what is the maximum force I can put into it? Uh, the number is from 0 to 9, but truly speaking, it is not in use. Yes, it is also written that no longer used. So I have never seen it to be used, and there are additional letters which are optional, and those are never used. So there are two letters, the first letters and second letters, which is mandatory. These two letters are mandatory, and before that, the IP has to be mentioned. So this constitute an IP protection code. Now let us understand what is the first letter, meaning of the first letter, and the meaning of the second letter. The first letter, the solid foreign objects. So as it is indicated that from 0 to 6, any letter can be there. 0 means no protection. There is no protection. 1 means protected against solid foreign objects. It is 50, that is below 50 diameter, which means generally your hand cannot enter into that enclosure. The 2 means the solid particle should be less than 12.5 diameter, which means your finger should not enter into it. 3 means the solid particle diameter shall be less than 2.5, which is maybe screw or something kind of a thing cannot enter. Then similarly, the solid particle should be less than 1 the 5 it is dust protected, and the 6 is dust tight, means there will be no dust, no, absolutely no dust. Similarly to the second letter, the 0 is no protection, 1 is protection against vertically falling dropping water, vertical drops. Second, the 2 is vertical drops at 15 degree, or you can tilt the enclosure to 15 degree. Then also there will be no water inside. The 3 is protected against spraying water at 60 degree from the vertical. So 60 degree from the vertical, and there is no water inside. The 4 is protection against splashing water. If splashing is done from any direction, from any direction, then also there will be no water. 5 is water jet. If we throw water into that enclosure through water jet, then also from any direction, then also there is no water inside. 6 is powerful water jet. Powerful water jet from any direction, no water inside. That is the protection. And there is 7. 7 means temporary under the water, right? Protected against the effects of temporary immersion in water. Generally, it is 1 meter depth, and as I said, up to 67. That is the value where more or less this is the maximum protection that is used in the industry. And 68 and 69, yes, of course it is there, but they are very special used. So ingress of water, uh, actually there will be no ingress of water even continuously immersed in the water under the actually, let me tell you one thing. Any standard also tells that the standards has its own definition and specification, but it also says that anything, any condition that is mentioned, that is agreed between the manufacturer and the user, that will always supersede. So that is what it is saying, that the immersion in water under the condition which shall be agreed between manufacturer and the user, but which are more severe or stringent than the numeric 7. So generally this clause is something like that, that immersion for 1 hour under the water which is more than 1 meter in depth, right? And there is protection 9, which is water projected, which is the water is high temperature and with a very high pressure. High temperature, high pressure water jet from everywhere. So now let me understand this IP65. So what is IP65? The first letter is 6 and the second letter is 5. So 6 means it is completely dust tight, there is no dust. 5 means it is protected against water jet, right? So this is about IP protection, IP numbers. Now let me tell you some practical things. Nobody remembers all these numbers explicitly in the industry, but they know where to use the which IP. For example, if I talk about IP54, it is for indoor use. Now IP54, it is for outdoor use. Everyone knows it. Anything, if you want to use in the open environment where there will be rain and still you need the protection, then it will be IP67. For example, all your instruments which are used, field instruments which are used on the pipelines, they are inside an enclosure which shall be IP67 protection code. These are small tips from the practical angle of it. But I'll suggest as a fresher or as a beginner, you must mug up to IP67. It is required because people will test you during your interview. At the same time, you also know what is indoor, what is outdoor. For example, IP55. To meet the IP55 standard, electrical panels need to have double door, one first door and the second door. Second, on the second door there will be the equipments like push button, selector switch, and the first door will be generally the glass door is there to protect it. So these are certain things which if you know it is good. In this context, I also want to tell you one more thing. There is another standard called NEMA standard. The NEMA, National Electric Manufacturers Association, it is an American standard. And IP, what we have already discussed, ingress protection rating systems are used to describe the degree of protection provide against intrusion, body parts such as hands and fingers, dust, dirt, accidental contact, and ingress of water. The NEMA rating system also makes distinction between hazardous and non-hazardous environment. Now, what is hazardous and non-hazardous environment? And they have all set of different ratings. I'll discuss about it in different sets of video. One video is not sufficient for this. I'll talk about it on a separate video series. Now, the NEMA rating system, NEMA standards 250, is primarily used in the United States, whereas the IP rating IEC standard 60529 is used throughout the rest of the world. Uh, Most of the time, maybe the 90% of the times, we are using IP only, but there are instances, there are products which are only with the NEMA rating. Particularly, what I can come across, what I can recall now is that there is fire panel which is of Honeywell Notifier fire panel. They have the NEMA rating only, they don't have any IP rating. It is very confusing. That's why I have covered this also. Now, NEMA rating table has like NEMA 1, NEMA 2, NEMA 3, 3R, and so on up to NEMA 12, 13. You can see it is not only the ingress of water or dust, it also covers something like corrosive agents, right? So, since it is including the corrosive agents, so no way you can map this NEMA rating with the IP rating. But uh, we can find out a thumb rule kind of a thing that which IP rating is almost equal to that NEMA rating. So this is the chart using which we can find it out. For example, if I talk about let's say this one, this is what IP. This one first letter is IP6 and second letter is also IP6. So it is IP6. This is indicating IP66. So IP66 will be covered by NEMA 4, NEMA 4 or NEMA 4X. That's what we can say. Or for more practical example, for example, some equipments are NEMA 2, um, following NEMA 2 standards. So in that case, it will be IP2 and 2, IP22. So that's how the correlation can be done, but this is not an hard and fast mm, chart. It's just for a guideline, just that. Anyway, um, this is all about IP and NEMA standards you need to know as a beginner. I think this video was useful to you. Thank you.